In this video, we're going to look at a specific ingredient in Drush Recipes called madlibs. So first we're going to do DLR on core performance. That's an included recipe that is a madlib. So we get the path, then we're going to check out that path. So this is what a madlib looks like. You see you have the ingredient type in there. It has a flag of madlib is set to true, so it knows that this is something it should be processing with tokens. Then you define the arguments involved, and you'll see this argument actually has a token in it, this global. Tokens, then you define, hey, what is the token? So this is kind of what the question will be that's asked. For this specific example, it's kind of vague. It just says global boolean. But this is used for changing performance settings in bulk. Would be typical in a migration from a production environment down to dev. As for the defaults are all set to 1, which means it's going to turn all the caching on for all these things. So to see what this looks like, we're going to do drush cook core performance. We're not going to pass it anything. You'll see that it prints it out to the screen and says in big letters madlib. All right, so there's drush vset cache and then this global token, and then it says, hey, the default is going to be 1 in this instance. Shows you all of them. You'll see we actually have 5 madlibs strung together here. So we'll say yes. You'll see, hey, first thing is 1. It'll then ask, is this what you want to fill out? Say yes. I'm not doing this against the site. Say no, I don't want to do that. We can change it to be 0, right? And it says, hey, it's going to vset preprocessed CSS to 0. See, it's going to try to vset it to Y in that case because I typed the letter Y. So no, I don't want to do that. And we'll set it to 1. And we'll set this one to 1. All right, so what we could do is we could do the --y, right? So we could do core performance, --y, skip all those questions, and have it just fill out the defaults. You'll see it would go through and set all these to 1. Another option we have is, because they're tokens, you can use this prefix to the token name in question. So you'll see if we go back up here, that the token in question is global. And so the way to target that and replace it via the options that are passed in is we prefix it with this MLT for madlib token. And we'll do global equals 0. So what this will do is replace all of those defaults of 1 with defaults of 0. And see, through all these issuings, you can see vset page compression 0, preprocess JS 0, preprocess CSS 0, block cache 0. So this lets you set all those in bulk. So the move from production to development now could have this one command and automatically unset these performance settings. If we're moving the opposite direction up to production, then it's just changing one Boolean value and you see the change reflected. So that when we run the same command, all these settings are now set to 1. You can use these mixed. You can define additional madlib tokens if you have a much more sophisticated one. I'm not going to run this one right now, but drsi is another included madlib, which is much more sophisticated. You'll see this is a madlib wrapper around the drush si call. And by doing that, you can then have the user fill out all these different values about creating a new site, or you pass it in as one line and fill it out yourself. Now you could just do that with the si command, but this allows a little more flexibility as far as stuffing it into other call structures.